Why would anyone want to bring life into this world? Knowing the state of this world, knowing that this is our life, this is our existence. Why? 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 Just because you see life a certain way doesn't mean your quote unquote future offspring is going to see life the way you do. Either way, in the end, again, nobody asked to be born. So it's not fair to force life into this world. For what? Because of a legacy or something? Just live your life and be done with it. This world is absolute slavery. When you have children, you're bringing life into this world just to become a slave. Here's the reality, people. When you bring life into this world, you're bringing life into this world. Regardless of your intentions, at the end of the day, you're bringing life into this world just to become a slave. Even slave owners are slaves. All the quote-unquote elites, they're slaves too. How are they slaves? Because why do you think they have, like I said, with Apple, for example, why did they put suicide nets to surround the buildings? Because they don't want to lose workers. They are dependent on those workers. So we live in a world where we are dependent on each other. Whether you're a slave or a slave owner, we are all slaves. Slave owners are slaves as well. Without workers, without the enslaved workers, they're fucked. Who's going to work for them? So that's why they put the suicide nets surrounding the buildings. I'm talking about Apple. Understand what I'm saying. Wow, this is the world we live in. You know what makes things worse? When you force life into this world, you can't undo that. You can't undo that. That's it. You force life into this world that never asked to be born. You cannot undo that life's existence. That's it. And when they grow up and they're unsatisfied with life and they see life for what it truly is, and they realize that we are in a world of slavery, we were born to be slaves. When they see that, what are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell your offspring? In a nutshell, you're just going to tell them to suck it up. That's all you're going to do. You're just going to tell them to suck it up because you realize that you've made a mistake. You realize you fucked up. You knew damn well the state of this world, the state of existence. You knew, but you just couldn't help having a toy to play with and then dispose of it once you no longer need to use it anymore. What? None of this makes sense at all. This is why we exist, people. We exist to work and sleep most of our lives. This is why we exist. Why would we bring any more life into this world knowing that this is our existence? Why can't we just live and then be done with it? Why do we have to put other life through this pain and suffering? Nothing matters in life. We are all going to die. We are all going to die. That is the reality. All this talk about, oh, I want children because I want them to continue my legacy. You're going to die. You watching this video right now, you're going to die, whether you have children or not. I've said this before, I'll say it again. You're going to die, whether you have children or not. You are not your children, and your children are not you. You're going to die. Your children are going, when they grow up, they're going to die as well. All this obsession with maintaining the human species just to be slaves all their lives. Why? I feel sorry for the people in China who, just as an example, I feel sorry for the people in China who are being enslaved by Apple, who can't end their lives. So it's okay to bring life into this world that never asked to be born. It's okay to force life into this world that never asked to be born. But it's not okay for those lives that never asked to be born, right? It's not okay for them to want to end their lives. It's not okay for them to want to exit. Oh no, that's not okay. Let's set up nets around buildings so that they land safely, so that they can continue to slave their lives away. Amazing. Wake up, people. Stop being narcissistic. Look at the way the world is. This is our existence. Why? Why in God's name? You know this world is an evil place. You know that this is our existence, to work and sleep most of our lives. We are born to be slaves. Again, I'll say this again for you people at the back. Even slave owners are slaves. Slave owners are slaves as well. We are all slaves. Every single human being is a slave. We were born to be slaves. That's our existence. And yet we want to bring more slaves into this world so that they can suffer as well, so that they can experience pain and suffering. And all you have to say is that's life. Are you kidding me? That's life. There's grape. There's grape in this world. Should we just say that's life? Should we say it like as a way to justify it? Like it's okay just because it's life. Listen, people, stop being sheep and wake up. Just because something is part of life doesn't mean it's okay. Wake up and see the world for what it truly is and question it. Ask yourself, is this really worth it? Is this all we do? You're bringing life into this world full of narcissists and psychopaths. Why do you think so many people have trust issues? Because people are evil, narcissistic motherfuckers. Honestly, you people are a bunch of idiots. Honestly, you people are a bunch of idiots. A lot of you. Gaslighting people who see the world for what it truly is. But you don't want to wake up, or you want to live in delusion. You want to live in denial. You want to be delusion. You want to delude yourself with this religious BS to cope, because you know the reality of existence. You know the reality of life, but you want to cope. You want to use God and religion as a way to cope, as a way to cope with life, because you realize life absolutely sucks. And the reason why we're here is to be slaves. This is nonsense, man. This is absolute BS. Why would anyone want to bring life into this world just to be slaves? Why? Why? Because that's part of this is nonsense, man. Stop saying that's life as a justification to bring life into this world so that they can suffer as well. Instead, how about you say, something's not right. Something's very fucked up about this world. Something's very nonsensical about existence, life/existence. Something doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that we exist to work and sleep most of our lives. That does not make sense. What kind of existence, what kind of creation is that? What kind of creation is that? And whoever created that is evil. Oh, that's life. You people are NPCs who say that, man. You people are a bunch of mindless, sheeple NPCs who just regurgitate shit that we've been taught. And you don't even know what that means. Oh, that's like, what does that even mean? So it's okay? So it's not okay to question it? So it's okay. So we should just continue doing something just because that's life. Existence is a scam, people. Existence is a scam. The reality is, when we're born, like I said, we're born to be slaves. But also remember, right? No matter what, we are dependent on each other. We are dependent on each other, people. We are all dependent on each other. The elites are dependent on us. We're dependent on them. We are dependent on each other. What kind of existence is that? We are dependent on each other. We Whatever it is that we want is going to be at the expense of someone else's suffering. If we want an iPhone, that's at the expense of other people's suffering. If we want Nestle, yeah, apparently that's at the expense of other people's suffering. Samsung, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is that we want, if you become rich, it's at the expense of the poor. We are at whatever we do, it is at someone else's expense. What kind of design is that? Either way, it's not a good design. It's not a good design. It's not a good creation. I can't believe anyone would want to bring life into this world. Knowing the way the world is, I can't believe it. If you bring life into this world and they say they grow up and they end up, no, let me put it like this. If you bring life into this world and then even as a kid they say, I wish I had never been born. Yeah. All the heartbreak that you feel, all the crush, you know, like basically feeling sad and heartbroken, it's not gonna do shit. It's not gonna do absolute shit. It's not gonna do shit. If you bring life into this world and they tell you that they wish they never existed, that's not gonna do absolute shit. You telling them, oh, uh, oh, well, suck it up. That's not gonna do shit. Because what's gonna happen from there until the day they die is they're going to suffer because they don't want to exist. They never wanted to exist. They never needed to exist. All of that could have been avoided if you had not brought life into this world. People think about this shit. It's obvious that we live in a world full of slavery, and we want to perpetuate that for what? You, to the people who say, I want children because it gives my life meaning, you lot are, but I'm just going to keep it real, you lot are a bunch of idiots. What is the point of bringing life into this world so that your life can have meaning? Only for them, that life that you brought into this world, only for that life to then grow up and then be in the same position as you where they feel like their life doesn't have meaning. And then it becomes a vicious cycle where they start to procreate because, if I procreate, then my offspring will give my life meaning. And then that offspring will grow up and feel like their life has no meaning. And they will also have offspring because it will give their life meaning, and so on and so on. Break the cycle, people, man. This is the way the world is, man. Break the cycle. You want to bring life into this world? Knowing the way, knowing how horrible this world is, full of war, torture, rape, pedophilia, you name it. Psychopaths, narcissists, people who want to bring life into this world just so that they can claim benefits from the government and do absolutely nothing. Yeah, that's right. There are people, especially women, who will have children just so that they can claim benefits. Sick. Fucking sick. You bring life into this world, that life grows up, and they see the world for what it truly is, and then they start to realize, you know what? I wish I was never born. And then what do you tell your child? What do you tell you just tell them to suck it up? Wow. All of that, the reality is all of that could have been avoided if you had not brought children into this world. It's the truth. Or you know damn well you can just live life and then be done with it. You know life is hell. There's no afterlife. Life is absolute hell. We live to work and sleep most of our lives, and then that's it. We die. And you want to put another life through that? For what reason? What? Because misery loves company? Guys, do you lack that much empathy? Are you that lacking in? Oh my days. Do you guys lack that much empathy that you're willing to put another life through this bullshit, through this bullshit system? Are you lacking in empathy, in that much empathy? Are you that psychopathic? Are you that apathetic that you want to put another life through that? Really? Amazing. I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. If you bring life into this world that never asked to be born, never needed to be born in the first place, if you bring life into this world that never asked to be born, never needed to be born in the first place, and they grow up and they say, I wish I was never born. That's you have done that. You put that child through that. You have done that. It's not the child's fault. It's your fault. It is your fault. They never needed to exist, but you and your selfish pleasures, because of you and your selfish pleasures, they exist. And now they have to suffer for the rest of their lives for such a very long time. They can't just go end their lives because it's too risky. So to all of you who say, oh, why don't you end your life? First of all, go fuck yourselves. And two, it's risky. There are people that have tried to end their lives. But you know what happened? They ended up being crippled. They ended up being disabled. There are people that have jumped off cliffs and have survived, making their lives a lot worse. Someone drank bleach and they became disabled. I think they suffered from brain damage or something. You could try an overdose. Boom. You see what I'm saying? You could just end up surviving, and you're only going to make your life worse. You're only going to increase the suffering. So to anyone watching, don't ever tell someone to go end their life. All right? You fucking psychopaths. Don't do that. You're only proving their point as to why it's not worth existing. Because of people like you who are that psychopathic and unempathetic that you're willing to say something like that to someone because they're telling the truth about life. All I'm going to say is this, all right? This existence is pointless, meaningless, and it sucks, all right? We live in a world to work and sleep most of our lives. That is an absolute shit existence. It doesn't matter what it is you're doing. Like, who wants to do that? Don't put another life through that, all right? Break the cycle. Break the fucking cycle. Have some empathy. Look at the way the world is. Have some empathy and think, is this really what I want to put another life through? I don't want this for myself. Is this what I want for another life? And again, just a reminder, we as human beings, we are dependent on each other. That's the way nature has been designed. It's the same with animals. If the prey gets away, then the predator is going to starve and die. But if the predator catches the prey, then the prey is going to be eaten alive. So it's going to suffer and die. Either way, one of them is going to die. That's the way nature has been designed. Nature is evil, people. Stop with the delusions, all right? Stop deluding yourselves and accept reality. If you can't accept reality, then why have children? If you can't accept reality, why have children just to live in fantasy? Break the cycle, people. That's all I'm gonna say. Break the freaking cycle. All right, because this is the reality. Existence is not good, man. Because again, when you bring life into this world, you're just gonna bring them into this world just to become slaves. You're gonna slave their whole lives. Doesn't matter what they're doing. A slave is a slave. You could be making the most money in the world and still be a slave. That's why Apple put the nets around the buildings, because they don't want to lose workers. So yeah, they are they're slaves to their work. They're enslaved workers. Yeah, the people who own Apple, they are slaves to their workers. That's why they put the nets there, so that they don't die. Without workers, they're fucked. So just remember that whether you're a slave or a slave owner, we're all slaves. Just don't be delusional. Recognize reality, and then question whether you want to bring life into this world so that they can suffer as well. Is this what you want for another life? Something to think about.